House will come to order. The pledge today will be given by Caroline Arsenault, Sophia Price, and Isabel Blanken from the Christian Home School Group, Centennial, Colorado.
Please join us for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Kohler, please call the roll.
Representatives Arndt. Representative Arndt. Yeah. Representative Arndt excused. Representative Becker J excused. Representative Becker K. Brown. Buck. Buckner. Carver. Conti. Quorum excused. Court. Danielson. Representative Danielson. Oh, Representative Arndt is present.
Danielson. Representative Danielson excused.
Del Grosso. Dorr excused. Duran. Esgar. Everett. Everett excused. Fields. Foote. Garnett. Janal. Hamner. Humphrey. Joshi excused. Kagan. Klingenschmidt. Kraft Tharp. Landgraf excused. Lawrence excused. Lebsock. Lee. Leonard. Lontine. Lundeen excused. McCann. Melton. Mitch Bush. Moreno. Navarro excused. Neville. Nordberg is excused. Pabon. Pedersen. Primavera. Priola. Rankin. Rankin excused. Ransom. Rosenthal. Rupe. Ryden. Sane excused. Salazar. Sias. Singer. Thurlow. Tyler. Van Winkle.
Priola.
Vigil. Willett. Williams. Wilson excused. Windholes. Winter. Wist. Young. Madam Speaker.
So I got it delivered. It'll be introduced today.
Danielson is here. Representative Danielson is present.
It'll be on the calendar each and every day.
I've got 13.
After the day, it'll be on tonight's calendar. But it'll be under equal. Which is next Thursday. Okay? 52.
With 52 present and 15 excused, it's 13, must be 13 excused. We do have a quorum, and I just want to announce for the record that we have a few people absent today to attend their multi-assemblies, multi-county assemblies today, which of course is mandatory for most representatives. So that's the reason we have, I think, the smallest crowd of legislators we've had as a quorum for the entire year, probably will be. Representative Thurlow.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the reading of the Journal of Thursday, April 7th, 2016 be dispensed with and that it be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
You have heard the motion that the journal be adopted as corrected by the Chief Clerk. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. You got away all week, Representative Thurlow. Announcements and introductions. Representative Casey Becker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Can I have the attention of the chamber for a minute to share a tribute?
Representative Becker, just give me a minute. We are now into a tribute. Members, please take your seats and take the side conversations outside, please.
Thank you, Madam
proceed.
Speaker. This is National Public Health Week, and we have many members of our local public health organizations sitting over here to the side. I'm just going to read a quick tribute in support of the Colorado Public Health Association. The Colorado Public Health Association, founded in 1938, is a nonprofit association and statewide network of current and emerging public health professionals, businesses, and organizations. CPHA aims to create the healthiest Colorado for everyone, and its members work to promote and protect community health and well-being throughout the state. The members of the Colorado House of Representatives are proud to recognize the efforts of CPHA's public health professionals and organizations in creating healthier Colorado communities and environments, preventing disease and injury, and strengthening Colorado's public health system, workforce, and services. So please join me in honoring the Colorado Public Health Association. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Further announcements and introduction. Representative Kraft Tharp. Representative. Oh, I can tell already it's going to be a bad day. Representative Mitch Bush.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and it's an honor to serve with you.
And also with you, Representative Mitch Bush.
Good morning, colleagues. I have two announcements. The first one is I'm very, very delighted to have two wonderful constituents and their grandson here. And speaking of Public Health Day, one of them, Hope Cook, has worked with the Northwest Colorado Visiting Nurses Association for many years, doing prenatal work, postnatal work, working with well babies. And her husband, Mike Cook, is a very, very active community member, and their grandson, Rowan, is here too, and he's learning how to read. Please welcome my constituents from Rock County.
It's a fair trade, Representative Mitch Bush. No fine for that one, are you?
Thank you, Madam
proceed.
Speaker. My other announcement, I'm sure you're all eagerly waiting for it, is Friday. It is time to think about going skiing. And we do have a few more weekends to ski throughout our state, but I would particularly hope you go skiing at Vail, like nowhere on earth, or Beaver Creek, the home of the Birds of Prey downhill, or Steamboat, the home of champagne-powdered trees and a real friendly community. But wherever you go skiing.
Representative Conti.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It is a joy to be with you, colleagues, and I want to let you know that today marks the 22nd annual Homeschool Day at the Capitol. This is sponsored by the Christian Home Educators of Colorado, or CHEC. The Christian Home Educators will have a rally today on the West Steps at noon. We would certainly welcome you to all attend. They are here to publicly acknowledge God's presence and His sovereignty over all the affairs that are conducted here, and to thank Him for the liberty that they have to teach their own children. Additionally, they are all praying for you today, and many of the families are here to meet and encourage their representatives. So please do take a moment to look for those people with the wonderful little blue stickers on, and take an opportunity to say hello and welcome them. In the back of the Capitol today, we have two of their leaders, Mr. George Sechrist and John Arsenault. They are two leaders of the Colorado Christian Homeschool Network, and they are happy to lead them. Please join me in commending the homeschool families here today and across the state of Colorado for their dedication to their children, and exhorting them to continue their pursuit of educational excellence. Thank you.
Representative Escar.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And members, part of that group that Representative Conti just talked about is from Pueblo, and they're actually here on the floor with us today. I'd like to introduce Jack Harmon and his family.
Representative Rupe.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So, if you haven't guessed, I'm here to remind everybody about the Veterans Caucus. And it's on Monday. We're going to talk about the Colorado National Guard and learn all the things that they do. You know, after this weekend and all the assemblies, we may need their help. I'm just being, kind of funny and off the cheek. But I want to encourage you to RSVP so that we have enough lunches ordered for us for the luncheon. You might have your Veterans Caucus email or flyer on your desk. If not, come see me or Jerry Wheeler, so we make sure that you have a box lunch. There aren't very many conflicts for Monday. Come get a free lunch, learn more about our own Colorado National Guard. Thank you.
Representative Primavera.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to let you know, even though it's opening day for the Rockies, Public Health Care and Human Services will be meeting 20 minutes after adjournment to hear House Bill 1380, House Bill 1381, and House Bill 1399. Go Rockies.
Representative Singer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As we get into the waning days of our session, I want to pass my exclusive thanks to the Colorado Youth Symphony, who is here today to share with us their music. They couldn't be here right now because they are actually in the Senate, lulling the Senate to sleep with Brahms's Lullaby. But please extend my thanks to the Colorado Youth Symphony Orchestra for joining us on the floor earlier today, and hopefully we'll have them back before the session's over.
Representative Hamner.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I need to call the Capitol Choir down to the well. And we have a very special birthday on the floor today. Guess whose birthday it is? Representative Court. Representative Court is just a little bit older here this morning. She looks beautiful, though. So please join me, Capitol Choir, in wishing Representative Court a fabulous birthday today. We ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, President Holt. Happy birthday to you.
The Speaker has one announcement. There will be a committee change for today only. Representative Klingenschmidt will replace Representative Joshi on the Public Health and Human Services Committee. And we have other announcements. Representative Fields and Representative Williams and Representative Melton and Representative Buckner. Please proceed.
Good morning, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, today is Alpha Kappa Alpha Day sorority at the state capitol. And I'm pleased to introduce to you to some very fine women. I'm a member of this sorority. I've been a member since 1987. And so my colleagues that are standing here with me will give you some background in reference to our history and our community service projects.
Representative Williams.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated had its humble beginnings as the vision of 9 college students at the campus of Howard University in 1908. Since then, the sorority has flourished into a globally impactful organization. Over 29,000 college-trained members bound by the bonds of sisterhood and empowered by a commitment to servant leadership that is both domestic and international in its scope. As the Alpha Kappa Alpha has grown, it has maintained its focus in 2 key areas: the lifelong personal and professional development of each of its members and galvanizing its membership into the organization of respected power and influence, consistently at the forefront of effective advocacy and social change. that results in equality and equity for all, for citizens of the world. And members, if you look at the picture that has been displayed, these are actually the founding members, Miss Harriet Josephine Terry, Joanna Berry Shields, Margaret Flagg Holmes, and Beulah Burke. Thank you very much.
Please proceed, Representative Buckner.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. You see all these beautiful ladies in the House today, and we're all wearing pink and green because those are our sorority colors. When you think of Alpha Kappa Alpha, you think of sisterhood and a bond that never ends. I was a charter member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, Beta Phi chapter, at Ball State University. This was so exciting to be a charter member of that sorority on that campus during that time. As a founder, we set out to build something greater than ourselves. Our leadership, service, and scholarship is something we're very proud of. Alpha Kappa Alpha is also global. Abu Dhabi was guest to a lot of Alpha Kappa Alphas when they opened their first charter just a few months ago. And my daughter, who lives in the Middle East, who is also an Alpha Kappa Alpha, was able to attend those celebrations in Abu Dhabi, and she was very excited to do so. So once again, for my sisters up in the balcony and my sisters over here, I am just so excited that you're here today.
Representative Melton.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And members, I do want to welcome the members of Alpha Kappa Alpha as a member of Omega Psi Phi and a fellow Panhellenic Council member. We do appreciate all the work that Alpha Kappa Alpha does in terms of community service and really building up and bringing up young women throughout our community. And so please welcome them as they are here in the chamber.
Representative Fields, please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have some special guests here that have some leadership capacity that I would like to give them special recognition. Tawanda Bootford, who is the International Connection Committee, is here. Will you please stand? And then also Jan Carpenter Baker is our Regional Director. Will you please stand? Once again, welcome to the state capitol. Alpha Kappa Alpha has over 283 members across our globe. So once again, thank you for being here.
That's a $2 fine. But welcome. Thank you. Representative Buck.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And I am just very proud and very honored to welcome the Colorado Auctioneers Association. The Colorado Auctioneers Association was created in 1957. The purpose is to promote the auction method of marketing to all buyers and sellers through continued professionalism, education, and experience. In 1959, the two-year-old association even hosted the convention of the National Auctioneers Association in Denver. Presently, over 150 active members belong to the CAA. 1980 was the first year the Colorado State Bid Calling Contest was held. The first Colorado State Bid Calling champion was Booth Brown of Greeley. The 2016 Colorado Auctioneer champion is Josh Larson. Corey?
A fifth-generation Colorado farmer and cattleman, Josh Larson has combined his lifelong passion with tremendous skill to become the 2016 Colorado Auctioneer Champion. Mr. Larson will now go on to represent our state at the International Auctioneer Championships. The members of the Colorado House of Representatives are proud to recognize and congratulate Josh Larson for this outstanding achievement, wish him the best of luck at the International Championships, and continued success in all of his endeavors. On request of Representative Perry Buck, given this 8th day of April, 2016, State Capitol, Denver.
So I don't know about all of you, but I just love to hear the sound of an auctioneer. So we're going to auctioneer the Colorado state flag So get your wallets out, because what we're going to do is we're going to contribute to the AIDS big party that they're going to have after the session. So don't be shy. Raise your hands. We've got bid watchers on the sides. Look out.
And Representative Buck, I believe this is a flag that's been flown over the Capitol, right? So it's a
Yes, ma'am.
It's an official flag that's had a good day in Colorado. So we're going to proceed with a little auctioning, and I think we should hold that flag up. I'd be happy to do that so that you can see how beautiful it is.
We got far prettier people, OJ.
All right, guys. Well, on behalf of the Colorado and the National Auctioneers Associations, I'd like to thank you for having us out today to exhibit just a small part of what we do as auctioneers. And for those of you, have you ever been to an auction before? Well, there you go. Keep your hands up. That's what we're looking for, that all day long. All day long. You guys are good customers. There you go. Good customers right there. And it is going to go to the end of session dinner for the clerks. And we're selling it right here. I'm going to $15, $15, $16, $65, $17, $5, $75, $80, $85, $85, $90, $100, $15, $10, I'm at $110, $15, $15, $20, $120's here, $5, $125, I'm at $25, oh, now $30, $135, $40, $145, $45, $50, $150, I'm at $50, $55, $155, 60, $60 here, $65 here, $65, $165. I'm at $70, $170 here, $75 here, $175 here, $80, $180, now $90, $190, $200. I'm at $200, $210, I'm at $200, going to be $210, Now, folks, this is going for the end of the session clerk's dinner. $210.20. $20. We're out over here. Going to be $220. I'm at $210 right here. $220. I sold them right here. $210. Thank you, ma'am. And this is going to be Miss Kathleen Conti. Thank you, guys. Again, thanks for having the association out. We sure appreciate being here, guys.
Well, thanks to Representative Conti and thanks to Mr. Josh Larson. Congratulations on your championship, and that was fun. So we are awaiting a resolution from the Senate, but I don't believe it's here yet, is it? Yes, I think we'll move forward with third reading of bills. So give us a minute to kind of say goodbye to folks. So the next order of business is third reading of bills, final passage. Members, please take your seats. And Mr. Kohler, please read the title or represent Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to lay over House Bill 1365 to Monday, April 11th.
The motion is to lay over House Bill 1365 until Monday, April 11th. Seeing no objection, so ordered. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1311.
House Bill 1311 by Representative Salazar, also Senators Carroll and Marble, concerning court orders requiring payment of monetary amounts.
Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move House Bill 1311 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of House Bill 1311 on third reading and final passage. Representative Salazar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'll make this very short. You heard that the Senate sponsors are going to be Senator Marble and Senator Carroll. And the reason for this is that this bill represents a message by the Colorado General Assembly to our municipal court system to stop engaging in debtors' prisons. As I indicated to you yesterday, that we passed a similar bill 3 years ago asking municipal courts, telling municipal courts to stop engaging in debtors' prisons. It passed out of the General Assembly 99-1. After it passed, the municipal courts decided to create their own loophole. And we're having to come back again to close this loophole, to send a message to municipal courts that our U.S. Supreme Court and our Colorado Supreme Court agree that debtors' prisons should be dead in the United States. I ask for your support of this House Bill 1311. Thank you, colleagues.
Is there further discussion? Representative Willett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, we did hear this bill in judiciary. What's missing from the discussion is we had a very articulate, well-meaning, gray-haired judge representing all the municipal courts, particularly those in the smaller areas of the state, who pointed out the problems with the bill. We had the attorney generals and the DAs there who said they had not come to terms with the bill yet, and they were working on some amendments. I know Representative Salazar did run one amendment, but my understanding is the municipal judges, not just the cities, but the judges themselves, are still opposed to this. We did one of those votes where we said, we'll vote yes, get it out of committee, because we trust there will be further stakeholder meetings and appropriate amendments. I've not seen those, so I will be a no vote today, supporting my judges, my municipalities. None of us want debtors' prisons, but we also don't want scofflaws to be able to avoid judgments. And with this bill, very simple and straightforward testimony made it clear that it's not hard for these people that don't want to follow the law, don't want to follow an order, can basically be in contempt of court and get away with it. So this bill needs more work. I'm sorry it didn't get done. Urge it a no vote.
Representative Carver.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Unfortunately, I must echo my colleague's comments, Representative Willett. We did believe that this was an important issue to be addressed. There were a lot of stakeholder concerns about the bill. We understand some of those concerns were addressed, but not all. So I will be a no on the bill.
Representative Salazar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And Representative Willett, Representative Carver, thank you. I respect your decision. Well, one thing I do want to say, Representative Willett, is that you're wrong. We did work on an amendment, and we operated in good faith with the municipal courts as well as the DA's office. And they did not come to the table in good faith. We waited for about a week. The Attorney General's office, finally recognizing that they were not working in good faith, decided to break off from the DA's office. Now, mind you, DAs have no dog in this fight. It's a municipal court. County courts and state courts, they're not engaging in debtors' prisons. The DA's offices are not engaging in debtors' prisons. So it's rather interesting that the DAs are trying to engage in it at the municipal court level where they don't have a dog in the fight. And I did listen to what the municipal judges said, as they said last time when the bill passed out 99-1, because they're the ones that are engaging in this conduct. They don't want to change their conduct, which is a violation of our Colorado and U.S. constitutions. Debtors' prisons is a 17th and 18th century form of punishment. Is that what you want to be known for? We worked with them in good faith, but they would not come to the table in good faith. And that's why our Colorado AG's office broke away from them and drafted the amendment that was put on the bill yesterday. Other than gutting this bill and allowing for the unconstitutional practice of debtors' prisons, I don't think anything would have gotten the DAs and the municipal judges on board with this bill. That should be a statement to you that there was nothing we would have done that would have satisfied them other than gutting the bill. Our responsibility as a body is to ensure that municipal courts follow the exact same rules and practices as our state, county, and district courts are doing. They are not exempt from the law. They are not exempt from the law. And as a matter of fact, do you know who some of the one of the biggest offenders were of debtors' prisons? Thornton Municipal Court. That's my court. But I'm here to represent the people of the city of Thornton, House District 31, and I'm here to tell my municipal court, your practices are unconstitutional and we will not stand for it as a body. That's why it passed 99-1 last time. And that's why I'm asking you for your vote, because you understood, 3 years ago you understood the importance of sending this message to the municipal courts to start conducting themselves like the state, district, and county courts are conducting themselves. I ask for a yes vote. Thank you.
Further discussion on Representative Van Winkle.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Representative Salazar, I have a question here about the fiscal note. One, did the bill go to Appropriations Committee because it requires a $642,000 general fund appropriation? And then two, your amendment, I haven't had time to look at it yet. Does it affect the fiscal note at all?
Representative Van Winkle, Representative Salazar has spoken twice. And if he would like to have Representative Kagan answer that question, I would allow it, or if it's an answer to the question only. Please proceed, Representative Kagan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And Representative Van Winkle, there was an amendment in the Judiciary Committee that completely removed the fiscal note. I just want members to understand one thing. The Attorney General's office was lukewarmly in opposition, very soft opposition, they said, but they said, we have soft opposition, that is in a direct quote, but we look forward to solving that through working on amendments. And I believe that there was an amendment that addressed the Attorney General's concerns. Now, what is it that the courts, who are immovable, have done? They have said, no, we cannot jail somebody for underpaying or failing to pay, even if it's from inability to pay, a fine. So what we will do is we will treat any underpayment, which we cannot jail somebody for, or late payment, or non-payment by mail, as a failure to appear in court. And we can put people in jail for failure to appear in court. Let me repeat that. It's quite ingenious what the municipal courts have come up with, to say that a failure to mail in a check, or a failure to make a payment on time, or a failure to make the full payment and only making the partial payment, is treated as a failure to appear in court. Now, apparently, this is, under current law, permissible. Can you see a more elaborate and unintended workaround to the principle that they may not use failure to pay as a reason for imprisonment than that? Is that what you want to endorse? It's a scandal. It's a scandal that they're getting away with. They should not be allowed to do it. They must not be allowed to do it. I urge you to vote yes on this bill.
Representative Willett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As Paul Harvey used to say, now for the rest of the story. Here's the so-called scandal. A defendant is found guilty and is given a fine. Let's say $100. The court then advises in writing and in person, if you can't pay this, come back to us and we'll set up a payment plan. Let's say the $100 is due in a month. As the month comes, courts will send a notice. Hey, your $100 is due. If you can't pay it, come in and we'll set up a payment plan. And then they'll do 10 easy payments of $10. It's only after all those attempts that they don't pay the fine, they don't come back to court, they don't even come in to say, please give me some relief here. So they get all the due process in the world. I don't call that scandalous, I call that contempt of court, and our courts have to be able to enforce their orders, especially after they've reached out and done everything they can to help people of limited means. It's not scandalous. You got to, this boils down to, do you really believe all these municipal judges are totally unethical, uncaring people, or are they just trying to enforce a reasonable judicial system in their courts?
Representative Melton.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And members, that is not true. Flat out, it's not true. If, say, you have a judgment and you're supposed to make $100 payments over the course of time, and you can only pay, say, $75 of it, you send in your 75 because it's not the full 100 that you had made the arrangement for, then you're going to get served with a notice of failure to appear, which means you have now a warrant. You also now have tacked on additional court fees. You also have a number of different fees that get tacked on. We heard from a witness who had a $700 fee that increased to over $2,200 in additional fees because he was unable to make a full payment. He was still making payments, but he wasn't able to make a full payment, and because of that, he got additional fees tacked on, as well as a number of warrants. So to say that if you can't pay, that they'll send you a notice and they'll say, well, you can come in and we'll work it out with you, that's not true. This smacks of predatory lending, and there is a reason why we heard from only the municipal courts and not from the district courts or the county courts, because this is a municipal court issue. Honestly, this is a cash grab for the municipalities. Members, I ask for an aye vote on this.
Further discussion. Representative Carver.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, CML is in strong opposition to this bill in its current form. We voted unanimously in the Judiciary Committee because we recognized there was an issue that needed to be addressed. There was broad concern with how the bill was written. There was a pledge to work with all the stakeholders to address all their concerns. And on that basis, I was willing to support the deal, as were others of my colleagues on my side of the aisle. Those concerns have not all been addressed, and therefore I would urge a no vote on this bill.
Is there further discussion on House Bill 1311? Seeing none, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 34 ayes, 19 noes, and 12 excused, House Bill 1311 is passed. Co-sponsors. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1302.
House Bill 1302, Representatives Duran and Del Grosso, also Senator Newell, concerning the alignment of the Colorado statutes with the Federal Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act through the Colorado Career Advancement Act.
Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1302 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of House Bill 1302 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 44 ayes, 9 noes, and 12 excused, House Bill 1302 is passed. Co-sponsors. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1356.
House Bill 1356 by Representatives Kraft, Tharp, and Nordberg, also Senators John and Holbert, concerning requirements related to the satisfaction of indebtedness secured by real property.
Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1356 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of House Bill 1356 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members please vote. Close the machine. With 52 ayes, 1 no, and 12 excused, House Bill 1356 is passed. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1401. Oh, co-sponsors, I'm sorry. Please sign up for co-sponsors for House Bill 1356 if you choose. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1401.
House Bill 1401 by Representatives Becker, Kay, and Priola, also Senators Woods and Hodge, concerning the regulation of retail food establishments.
Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1401 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of House Bill 1401 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 42 ayes, 11 noes, and 12 excused, House Bill 1401 is passed. Co-sponsors. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1360. Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to lay over House Bill 1316 to Monday, April 11th.
The motion is to lay over House Bill 1360 to Monday, April 11. Seeing no objection, so ordered. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1320.
House Bill 1320 by Representatives Foote and Carver, also Senator Cook, concerning the regulation of massage therapy to modify practices that are linked to criminal behavior.
Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1320 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of House Bill 1320 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 52 ayes, 1 no, and 12 excused, House Bill 1320 is passed. Co-sponsors. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of Senate Bill 133.
Senate Bill 133 by Senator Tate, also Representatives Pabon and Willett, concerning the transfer of property rights upon the death of a person in connection with clarifying determination of heirship proceedings and probate.
Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 133 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of Senate Bill 133 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine with 52 ayes, 1 no, and 12 excused. Senate Bill 133 is passed. Co-sponsors. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1357. Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to lay over House Bill 1357 and House Bill 1361 to Monday, April 11th.
The motion is to lay over House Bill 1357 and House Bill 1361 until Monday, April 11. Seeing no objections, so ordered. Message from the Senate.
Madam Speaker, the Senate has adopted and transmits herewith Senate Joint Resolution 27.
Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of SJR 27.
The motion is to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of Senate Joint Resolution 27. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of Senate Joint Resolution 27.
Senate Joint Resolution 27 by Senator Lundberg, also Representative Ransom, concerning the designation of April 8th, 2016 as Home Education Day in Colorado.
Representative Ransom.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move Senate Joint Resolution 27 and ask that it be read at length.
Whereas, Colorado law affirms that it is the primary right and obligation of parents to choose the proper education and training for children under their care and supervision, and that home-based education is a legitimate alternative to classroom attendance for the instruction of children. And whereas home education is part of America's national heritage, as evidenced in the formative years of home-educated Americans such as George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, John Quincy Adams, Abraham Lincoln, Theodore Roosevelt, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Abigail Adams, Patrick Henry, John Jay, Booker T. Washington, Andrew Carnegie, Thomas Edison, Mark Twain, and Ansel Adams. And whereas the growing research on adults who are home educated indicates that they internalize the values and beliefs of their parents at a high rate. And whereas home educated students score above average on achievement tests regardless of their parents' level of formal education or their family's household income. And whereas a 2015 study of homeschool graduates found that 92% of those surveyed were happy with their home education experience. And whereas the study found that 82% of young people who were homeschooled plan to use homeschooling for at least part of their children's education. And whereas the over 2 million children who are home educated in the United States today save American taxpayers an estimated $24 billion annually. And whereas parents who have home educated their children are to be commended for their extraordinary sacrifice and commitment that has produced millions of home educated graduates who are equipped to be successful and productive citizens because of the values, education, and training they have received from their parents. Now therefore be it resolved by the Senate of the 70th General Assembly of the State of Colorado, the House of Representatives concurring herein, that we, the members of the Colorado General Assembly, honor, thank, and celebrate home educators and their home educated children of this state, and recognize April 8th, 2016 as Home Education Day in Colorado.
Representative Ransom.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Members, please be seated. As you know, we have a lot of excited homeschooled kids running around the Capitol today. You can recognize them by their blue stickers, but it's not just the kids that are here today. I want to thank all the parents that take that time and energy to school their kids at home. And also, I want to just celebrate the fact that we have choices here in Colorado. Parents can do what fits best for their kids. I've always told people homeschooling is not the best option for everyone, but it should be an option for anyone that would like to do that for their children. I know I haven't made any secret of the fact that I homeschooled all of my kids at certain times throughout their school years, and the 3 that went to college all went on academic scholarships. I'm always proud of letting people know that. They are smart kids. One of them works in finance out on the East Coast and makes a lot more money than probably most of us do, even in our other jobs. So anyway, I just want to thank everybody for having this resolution, and thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem.
Representative Winholtz.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. And I also want to reiterate how important homeschooling is for the opportunity for homeschooling in the state of Colorado. 4 grandchildren of mine who live here are homeschooled, and they're doing very, very well. And there's a great network of homeschool organizations that they can participate in. Science, math, the arts, dancing, play productions. Anyway, it's really a very well-organized and a very welcomed opportunity for these kids. And so I thank you for your support of them, and I think this is a great endeavor that we can continue to support in Colorado.
Representative Carver.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I rise in strong support of this resolution. There are many homeschoolers in my district, although the typical situation is that in a family of 3 or 4, you could very well have one child homeschooled, another going to public school or parochial school. The critical importance of homeschool is a recognition that different educational settings work best based on the child, and the parent is in the best position to know that. And so we've done, Colorado has recognized this and has a very supportive homeschool environment, and I particularly am glad to pay the fine, want to welcome Lynn Martinez and Amelia from my district, who I had the joy of meeting this morning. Welcome to the Capitol.
Thank you, Representative Carver. That is a $3 fine. Representative Conti.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Members, I rise in strong support of SJR 1627. It has been a definite observation of mine that there are no cookie-cutter children, and therefore there should not be cookie-cutter educational options. I believe that homeschoolers represent the epitome of freedom, and the freedom of parents to choose what is right as they know their children better than anyone. You know, I ran into an economics prof from Colorado Christian University, and she told me, she said, I can pick out my homeschool kids within the first 5 minutes of the first day of class. Usually within 10 minutes, I can pick out the charter and private schools, and then I know the rest of the kids probably came through the public school system. She said, but it is the homeschool kids that are exemplary. They have learned to engage, they have learned to respond, they have learned to react and engage in the process. And I just want to thank the dedicated homeschool parents of this state for making that fact to be evident to one of the profs in our local colleges. Once again, I rise in strong support of this resolution, and thank you for bringing it.
Representative Leonard.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I, too, am in great gratitude for this resolution. As a father of 6 homeschool kids, we take a special pride in the work and the dedication that we spend to make sure that kids are well educated, well disciplined, and very respectful and mannerly in their peers and their academics and their athletics. So many times we write our checks out to the state so that we can support our public schools. At the same time, we build our library so that we can teach our kids with the same amount of enthusiasm that others are being taught. We were very fortunate to be able to homeschool our children, and really applaud all those parents and the kids that spend their time homeschooling. Your time is very efficiently spent, and I'm glad that you're able to spend your other time working or doing athletics too. So thank you very much for this resolution.
Is there any further discussion on Senate Joint Resolution 27? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Joint Resolution 27. Seeing no objection to a voice vote, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Senate Joint Resolution 27 passes. Representative Ransom.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move that the morning roll call be added as co-sponsors.
Representative Ransom, I've had a request that the machine be open for co-sponsors. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine for co-sponsors to Senate Joint Resolution 27. Close the machine. Oh.
Representative Willett, would you like to be a co-sponsor? All right, Representative Willett is on and will continue to be on as a co-sponsor to Senate Joint Resolution 27. Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move to proceed out of order for the immediate consideration of SJR 28.
Mr. Kohler, please read the title of Senate Joint Resolution 28.
Senate Joint Resolution 28 by Senator Lambert, also Representative Carver, concerning the recognition of a 32nd Space Symposium and celebrating the premier international space policy and program forum.
Representative Carver.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. And I move for the passage of SJR 16-028 and ask that it be read in full.
Whereas the Space Foundation is a global nonprofit leader in space awareness activities, educational programs, and major industry events. And whereas the Space Foundation was founded in 1983 with a mission to advance space-related endeavors to inspire, enable, and propel humanity. And whereas Colorado is home to multiple space-oriented commands, including the United States Air Force Space Command, the United States Army Space and Missile Defense Command, Army Forces Strategic Command, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, and the United States Northern Command. And whereas Colorado supports the second largest space economy in the nation, with more than 400 space-related companies developing products and systems for commercial, civil, and military space activities. And whereas Colorado's space companies and research institutions are leading some of the world's most notable and innovative missions and programs in human spaceflight, deep space exploration, and earth science. And whereas the Space Foundation's Space Symposium, held at the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs, annually brings together civil, commercial, and national security space leaders from around the world to discuss, address, and plan for the future of space. And whereas the inaugural Space Symposium in 1984 was attended by approximately 250 space enthusiasts, and participant numbers in recent years have surpassed 11,000. And whereas the annual Space Symposium results in approximately $30 million in economic impact to the local economy. And whereas the Space Symposium has become widely known as the premier space policy and program forum in the world. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate of the 70th General Assembly of the State of Colorado, the House of Representatives concurring herein, that we, the members of the Colorado General Assembly, recognize April 11th as the opening day of the 32nd Space Symposium and its position as the premier international space policy and program forum. That we recognize the important contributions of the space industry to the economy of our state and the welfare of our citizens, and that we welcome the attendees from all sectors of the space community and from all parts of the world to our beautiful state.
Representative Carver.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. It is my honor to have the Space Foundation located in my district. It is also in Senator Lambert's district. And this is, you may not be aware, which is why we start bringing these resolutions. This is the international space event occurring in Colorado, and we are so pleased that our governor is going to be addressing the opening ceremonies of the Space Symposium this coming Monday, April 11th. We have typically over 30 foreign space agencies in attendance, thousands of attendees from other countries as well as across the United States talking about all the cutting-edge space issues. So I urge support of this resolution.
Representative Rosenthal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I rise in very strong support for this Senate Joint Resolution 28. As one of the co-chairs of the Aerospace and Defense Caucus, I always find it delightful to see the advancements made in our state, both between nonprofits and businesses and academic work and individuals, all coming together to work as a family in support of the aerospace and defense industry in Colorado. And in my view, as we mentioned a few weeks ago when we had our Aerospace Day, every day is Aerospace Day. Every day should be a day where we all learn about space and how we as a state can support the exploration of space as people both in Colorado and on this planet. It is something that we are obligated to do. So thank you very much, Representative Carver, for carrying this resolution.
Representative Ryden. Representatives Ryden, Milton, and Fields.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. The Aurora delegation is here. And we want to give a shout out to our colleagues for bringing this resolution and remind you once again that we do have Buckley Air Force Base in Aurora, and it is the heart of a lot of the global intelligence that will be discussed this week, this coming week at the symposium, and is also a generator of many, many spin-off companies and many small businesses in our state. And so we want to say thank you, colleagues. Thank you, Representative Carver. We appreciate the recognition, and even though there are many activities in Colorado Springs, the #1 best activity is at Buckley Air Force Base in Aurora. Thank you.
Representative Fields.
Thank you, Speaker Pro Tem. Well, I am standing in strong support of this resolution and want to thank Representative Carver for bringing this resolution to us, because when I think about space, I think about advanced industries, I think about the aerospace companies that we have in our state, and I think about good paying jobs. And the pathway to space comes through Colorado. And the reason I believe it comes through Colorado is because we are 1 mile higher as it relates to getting to space. So Colorado is leading the way as it relates to attracting aerospace companies. In Aurora, as was mentioned, we have several industries that employ hundreds of people. We have Raytheon, we have Northrop, of course we have Buckley Air Force Base. And around our state, we also have other employees like Bell Aerospace and Lockheed Martin, and of course, we can't forget NORAD Mountain in Colorado Springs. So I just want to applaud Colorado for investing in the space economy. We're growing and we're leading the way.
Representative Milton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. And I rise in support of this resolution, echoing many of the words of my colleagues from the Aurora delegation. We are so proud of the work that's done at Buckley Air Force Base, as well as all the industries that help support that effort. And also being a CU graduate myself, I'm also really proud of all the work that CU Boulder has done towards aerospace, and also the great paying jobs that lead to aerospace when you come out of school. My uncle was a chemist coming out of CSU, but worked for Lockheed Martin on the shuttle program. And so he's always been really proud, and we've always been really proud to know that a Melton has touched some aspects of space. And so I definitely do rise in strong support of this resolution.
Representative Klingenschmidt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I rise in support of this resolution. Space seems to be in my blood. My father was chief engineer of Bell Aerospace. My father helped work on all of the communication circuits for some of the Apollo missions. And when I was 4 years old, I decided I wanted to be an astronaut. And I ended up, when I went to high school, I looked through the college catalog, what school in America has an astronautical engineering degree, and it was the Air Force Academy, and that's why I went there. And I think I was an astro major for about 5 minutes, and then I switched to poli-sci, but that's okay. So I had a career in missile launch right there at United States Space Command in Colorado Springs, and I love the idea that we're hosting this symposium. I want to applaud the Colorado Springs Regional Business Alliance. I know they do a lot of work to bring aerospace jobs into Colorado Springs, in particular into my district, and the people of House District 15 will be glad to participate and in this symposium. So I urge an aye vote on this resolution.
Representative Winholtz.
Thank you, Speaker Pro Tem. I'm also very excited about this. In my House district, we have the Front Range Airport, which is checking off the boxes to become the spaceport right here in Colorado. And it's going to be a big avenue of support for our space industry and commercial. So I look forward to having that, and I really appreciate Representative Carver for bringing this to us, because this is an industry that can only grow.
Representative Salazar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. You know, when I was a little boy, I wanted to be an astronaut. I was always fascinated in space. It just excited me that there were things out there that we hadn't yet discovered, and which is a little weird because as a Colorado kid, I never had the courage to actually go out of school or go out of state to go to school or to get a job, because it scared me, but I always wanted to go into space. But what's really cool about it is when Hubble started to explore deep into space and the galaxies that it was finding in our universe, it just really sparked that little boy excitement all over again. And then in 2005, NASA publicly released information that they discovered a 10th planet. They haven't been able to find it, but they know because of the gravitational pull that it exists. It's 2 times to 5 times more massive than Earth, and it has a highly elliptical orbit, which means that it starts coming closer to our sun over a period of about 3,000 plus years. It's called Nibiru. And the reason why it has that name to it is because other cultures found it a long, long time ago. The Hopi talked about it. And the Hopi are some of the most experienced astronomers that the world has ever known. And I think it's really cool that our cultures, dating way back, the astronomers of way back, leading up until today, are still excited and have still discovered things and wonders in our universe, the things that the Creator has put out there for us to take a look at. And I thank you, Representative Carver, for bringing this resolution.
Is there any further discussion on Senate Joint Resolution 28? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Joint Resolution 28. Seeing no objection to a voice vote, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Senate Joint Resolution 28 passes. Representative Carver.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I ask that the morning roll call be added as co-sponsors to the resolution.
Seeing no objection, the morning roll call, or the current roll call, will be added as co-sponsors to Senate Joint Resolution 28. Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move to proceed out of order for the consideration of SJR 25.
Mr. Kohler, please read the title of Senate Joint Resolution 25.
Senate Joint Resolution 25 by Senator Newell, also Representative Singer, concerning the designation of April 2016 as Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Representative Singer and Gwendolyn.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move Senate Joint Resolution 25 and ask that it be read at length.
Would you like Gwendolyn to read it at length, or?
Give it a shot.
Whereas, children are key to Colorado's future success, prosperity, and quality of life. While children are our most precious resource, they are also our most vulnerable. And whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious and reprehensible problem in our society. And whereas in 2014, there were nearly 10,000 confirmed cases of child abuse and neglect in Colorado, and 20 children died as a result. In the United States, there were over 700,000 confirmed cases of child abuse and neglect, and 1,580 children died as a result. And whereas groundbreaking studies like the Adverse Childhood Experiences Study have revealed the significant increased long-term health and mental health risks to children exposed to traumatic adverse experiences, including heart disease, chronic lung disease, liver disease, and suicide. And whereas this research shows that the impacts of child abuse and neglect on our children and our society are even greater than we previously thought, and that we must begin a new dialogue and evolve how we think and talk about child abuse and neglect. And whereas preventing and treating child abuse and neglect must be a high priority in our communities, our state, and the nation at large, children have a right to be safe and to have the opportunity to thrive, learn, and grow. And whereas we as a community must come together to extend a helping hand to children and families in need so that their voices are heard by all. And whereas by providing safe, stable, and nurturing relationships and environments for our children, free of violence, abuse, and neglect, we can ensure that Colorado children will grow to their full potential as the next generation of leaders, helping to secure the future of this state and nation. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate of the 70th General Assembly of the State of Colorado, the House of Representatives concurring herein, that we, the members of the Colorado General Assembly, proclaim April 2016 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the state of Colorado, that we encourage every person to perform a positive act each day on behalf of children, and that we call upon all citizens, community and faith-based organizations, businesses, and government agencies to create alliances to increase their efforts to strengthen Colorado families and to prevent child abuse and neglect, thereby strengthening the communities of this state.
Representative Singer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. There we go. Members, please be seated. Thank you very much for your attention on this incredibly important issue. A couple years ago, I was wandering around the House and Senate chambers, probably about 10 o'clock at night. We had already adjourned, and the Senate was still doing the long bill. And one of the lobbyists stopped me and said, "Well, what are you doing here?" And I thought she meant, you know, why am I serving at all? This is the reason I'm serving. I'm serving to make sure that our most vulnerable citizens are protected, whether that means working through our government agencies, our nonprofits, our foster homes, our private for-profit industries that provide charity. All of these working together in almost a three-legged stool is the only way that we can solve this. And you heard the numbers. It's sobering to know that there are children out there every day being hurt that we could be preventing. So, as Representative Wilson likes to always say, what are you going to do about it? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to work on legislation, but more importantly, I'm going to make sure that my own community is aware of the things that we can do every day. The fact that we even have a statewide hotline when people are concerned about kids in our community wasn't something that was even in existence 2 years ago. 1-844-CO for kids. 1-844-CO for kids. You pick up the phone, let them make the call. That's what this is about. It's about making sure that the rest of us have a fair chance at growing up. The rest of us can do better. And we've learned more in our government systems. We've learned that when kids go into foster care, the chances of them graduating high school are greatly decreased, but the chances of them entering the criminal justice system are greatly increased. So what have we done? We've worked to make sure that families are strengthened, that kids don't get taken away from their parents in every situation, that we find new ways and new resources that are economically feasible, but also make kids safer and stronger and families safer and stronger. So I hope as this month continues and the pinwheels sit on your desks that you think about other ways that we can help our kids, because the cost is too high of doing nothing. Thank you very much, members, and I encourage a yes vote on Senate Joint Resolution 25. And so does Gwendolyn.
Thank you, Gwendolyn and Representative Singer. Representative McCann.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I rise in strong support of this resolution. And I've seen it kind of from the other side. When I was a young deputy DA here in Denver, I was assigned a case, a pretty horrific case of child abuse. And I was pretty naive and young, and I could not believe what people will sometimes do to children, even their own children. So we have to be continually vigilant because these young people cannot speak for themselves. And in the situation, the case that I handled, the child died, and we didn't at that time have a child abuse resulting in murder charge. We had to charge first-degree murder and child abuse, which was a Class 3 felony. And as a result of that case, there was a group formed to work on legislation to increase that penalty for child abuse that results in a death. But I would just encourage us all, as Representative Singer so eloquently said, to keep our eyes open, to not be hesitant to make that call, and let the experts make the decision about whether or not a child is in a dangerous situation. But even today, after seeing these cases, it continually shocks me to see what people will do to children. And so we need to be very, very vigilant and keep this. keep this in mind as legislators, that we inform our communities about the hotline, about things that they can do as well. So I rise in strong support and hope that we can continue our efforts to keep our children safe. Thanks.
Representative Fields.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Thank you, Representative Singer, for bringing forth this resolution, because I think we all need to do everything possible to fight and defend and to report any abuse. And when I think about child abuse, it's not just based on what you can see. So it may not just be a bruise, or it could be a bruise or a broken arm or something like that, but some abuse you can't see. A lot of abuse that happens is not just physical, but it's also based on emotional abuse. And it's based on child neglect. And I've heard and read about cases where kids go home and there's no lights on, and there's no food in the refrigerator, and their parents may not come home for maybe 2 or 3 days. That is a form of abuse, because that's a form of child neglect. I just want to say thank you to all the social workers and the caseworkers that are out there, because they're dealing with this on the day-to-day basis, and they're trying to do everything possible to protect and to defend these kids. I just want to commend them for their work. But I also want us to be reminded, out of the millions of cases that are out there, so many of them are unreported, and they go unseen. And so when I think about that, it really kind of hurts, because children don't ask to come into this world. They never know what family they're going to end up in. And it's totally unfair that they find themselves in some of these abusive situations. So as legislators and lawmakers, we need to be doing everything possible to ensure the safety of our children around this state. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Representative Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I have 11 grandchildren. I don't look that old, I know. And it gets pretty personal when it's your grandchildren. And you can just imagine things that could happen. They're so innocent. And we need to do, as a society, everything that we possibly can to make sure that these young people are protected. I mean, strong support of SJR 25. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on Senate Joint Resolution 25? You know, I'll just add my remarks. You know, attorneys are often involved in this scenario, and there's generally not many tears that are shed by attorneys, as you can imagine, in court, except when it comes to dependency and abuse and neglect claims. And some of our greatest attorneys are guardians ad litem, or as some of their clients know them, guardians of light. And Rocky Mountain Children's Law Center and many others serve our children in this case. And I also serve as a board member for the Children's Center Advocacy Center, which addresses domestic abuse and child abuse. And so I strongly support this resolution. Seeing no further discussion on Senate Joint Resolution 25 and seeing no objection to a voice vote, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Senate Joint Resolution 25 passes. Representative Singer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem.
Unfortunately, I was going to say there are people joining us in the gallery, but the resolution was run in the Senate last week, so they were joining us in the gallery last week, but I want to thank those who did join us last week, members of CASA, caseworkers, guardians ad litem, attorneys, members of the State Department and county departments of human services for their continued work, and which is where they are today. And with that, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, I ask that the morning roll call be added as co-sponsors.
Seeing no objection, the current roll call will be added as co-sponsors to Senate Joint Resolution 25. Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move to lay over HJR 1013 and HJR 1014 to Tuesday, April 12th.
Seeing no objection, those House Joint Resolutions will be laid over as requested by the Assistant Majority Leader. Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move to lay over HJR 1015 to Thursday, April 21st.
Seeing no objection, House Joint Resolution 1015 will be laid over as requested by the Assistant Majority Leader. Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move to lay over the balance of the calendar to Monday, April 11th.
Seeing no objection, the balance of the calendar will be laid over until Monday, April 11th. Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move the House stand in adjournment until 10 a.m. on Monday, April 11th.
I actually think we have some things to read across the desk still. Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I withdraw that motion.
Is there any announcements or introductions for the body? Representative Primavera, come on down.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I have an announcement that will make some people happy. We're going to lay over one bill that's on the calendar today, House Bill 1381, health care coverage for cancer screening. I know that's going to disappoint some of our public health people, but we've had an issue with some of our witnesses being able to come. So we'll be hearing 1380, 1399, and we'll meet at 10 to 11.
Representative Garnett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem and members. There are 25 middle schoolers from McAuliffe Middle School here, not in the chamber at the moment, but they will be here shortly. So when you see them in the halls, please greet them warmly. Have a great weekend.
Welcome, McAuliffe students, when you get here. Any further announcements or introductions? Members, we are going to read a couple of things across the desk, but you are free to go at this time and have a good weekend. To my friends on the right side of the aisle, have fun at your assembly this weekend. I'm sure it'll be fun. We will be there next week, so you can watch the fireworks there as well. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Okay. Just go through whatever I have checked off.
And you need...
Yeah, so you just say whatever's, yeah.
Mr. Kohler, please read the reports of committees of reference.
The Committee on Local Government, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following: House Bill 1334 be amended as follows and necessary to refer to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation. House Bill 1367 be amended as follows and necessary to refer to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation. The Committee on Health Insurance and Environment, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following: House Bill 1203 be postponed indefinitely. House Bill 1424 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. The Committee on Transportation and Energy, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following: House Bill 1319 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation.
Mr. Kohler, please read the printing report.
Chief Clerk reports the following bills.
Mr. Kohler, please, the report of the printing report can be put in the journal. Message from the Senate.
Madam Speaker, the Senate.
Mr. Kohler, please put it in the journal. Mr.
How's that? All right.
Mr. Kohler, please, message from the reviser.
We herewith transmit without comment.
Mr. Kohler, please put that in the journal. Introduction of memorials.
House Memorial 1004 by Representative Priola and Primavera, memorializing former Representative William Bill Michael Behrens. So for these,
Okay.
He doesn't have that.
oh, yeah, he does.
Oh, do you have that? Can I give you those two?
Oh, there. House Memorial 10004 will be laid over until April 14, 2016, under the rules.
House Memorial 1005 by Representatives Becker, Jay, and Cora, memorializing former Representative Diane Hoppy.
House Memorial 1005 will be laid over until April 15, 2016, under the rules. Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move to calendar House Bill 1334, House Bill 1367, and House Bill 1319 for Monday, April 11th.
Those bills will be calendared as requested by the Assistant Majority Leader. Mr. Kohler, please read the committee's reports of committees of reference.
The Committee on Finance, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following: House Bill 1075 be postponed indefinitely, House Bill 1105 be postponed indefinitely, House Bill 1321 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations, House Bill 1386 be amended as follows and estimated be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. The Committee on Judiciary, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following: House Bill 1307 be postponed indefinitely, House Bill 1391 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation, Senate Bill 85 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation.
85. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move to calendar House Bills 1391 and 1385 for Monday, April 11th.
1391 is a very good bill. That bill will be calendared as requested by the Assistant Majority Leader, as will the following bill, as requested by the Assistant Majority Leader. Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move the House stand in adjournment until 10 a.m. on Monday, April 11th.
Seeing no objection, the House will be in adjournment until Monday, April 11th at 10 a.m.